Hello and welcome to this guide. This guide is for TextMesh Pro integrated search function. So let's assume for a split second that you have a drop-down and your drop-down has a lot of options. So this one is just a standard drop-down. It has 3 options and it's very easy for you to pick between the 3. But if you had 1,000 options, then it would be quite hard for you to search between them. So you would like some sort of a search function, and this is what you could do with this asset. So after you've set it up, the search dropdown, so you have to read the README file and then set it up completely. And after you've done that, you could drag the prefab into your canvas. So if you just drag it to your canvas, just like that, and then right click it, go to prefab and unpack completely. Now there's 3 ways of using this asset. The first way is to use your own drop down, and that's what we're going to do right now. So if you click on search drop down manager, it wants you to reference your own drop down. So let's reference our drop down, and as you can see, it jumps onto our drop down. So if we press play right now, we can use the search function by pressing this button here, and now we could type and search for whatever we want. So let's say option B or option C or option A. And if I press option C and press enter, it selects option C. Now there are other ways to use it too, so you don't really need to have a drop down of your own if you don't have one. You could always say let's use manual input via inspector. So let's remove the drop down we had created before, and now that we do manual input via inspector, if we press play, we have a different drop down. And you can add to this as much as you want. So you could say you have 10 options here, and you can even add numbers if you want. So 11, 111. Wait a second, lagging a little bit. 2, 1, 3. Okay, whatever. So if you press play now, you do a search function. All right, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Or you could do numbers, so 1 or 11, 1111, whatever you like. You could pick from the options remaining. You could do ABC again, D, E, F, G. It will show you all the options that have basically the letters you have written down. So you could click on whichever you want from this option that's shown. So you could say, yeah, you want to click on the first one or the second one, and it will pick that one for you. And the third way is via script population. So if I press script population and press play, you'll see that I have item 1 and item 2. Now, where is the script? So if we go to the script folder, not seen, sorry, TextMesh Pro script folder, we have 2 scripts in here, and one of them is called populate searching data. So let's open that up. And you can see item 1 and item 2. What's good about this is, let's say you have a large sum of data, maybe it's from a server, maybe you want to paste it from an Excel spreadsheet. It's easy to do. So I'm going to give you an example right now. So these are just name of countries, and I have formatted this. So if you don't know how to format this, it's quite easy. And the way I've done it is said equals this quotation mark, because we need quotation marks for strings. So I say quotation mark, and then you press the and sign and the name of the country, and then you press the and sign again, and then you want to get another quotation mark to close it, and then you press and again, and then we want a comma. I believe the way to do that is like this. If you press enter, there you go, we have formatted it. And I can just press double click this and it will go all the way down. I've already done it, so I don't need to do this again. What I'm going to do now is copy shift, control shift and down. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it right here, but as values. So it's not a formula anymore. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it here, but I'm going to transpose it. And now I'm going to copy this. Go to our script and paste it here as string format. There's an extra comma at the end, which we don't need. And that should do it. Hopefully there's no errors. Let's go back to Unity. Okay, so if we press play now, you notice that our drop down is so much bigger than before. So we could write L. If we press AL, everything with AL will show up. If we write ALG, only Algeria shows up. ALB, Albania. We have ALIA, which is Australia or Somalia. They both have ALIA in their name, so they are recommended. So these are 3 ways to populate the script. Okay. Now, what else can we do with this? What other options do we have? We have an option that says search box disappears if list is. Let me read that. Whoa. If list shows only one result. So if we tick this, what would happen is currently, if I press A and then F and then G, and there's Afghanistan is the only option we have, I can still search. I can take away and change my search option. If you tick that option right there, what would happen is, sorry, if you tick it, if I press A, F, G, because I have only one option remaining, it would just remove the search function. So this is an option you have. You can enable it or disable it. And secondly, we have search feature forces share same parent drop down. Search feature force share same parent as drop down. So this is a technical thing. When it's enabled, what happens is the drop down right here, it will force it so it has the same drop down as same parent as the drop down. So right now, the drop down hidden and all these drop down, they share the same parent as search drop down manager. But for example, if we had picked by referencing our own drop down, so if we're going to reference our own drop down right now and enable it, as you can see, automatically search input and search button went right underneath my drop down, so it moved around. You could disable this option if you want, but by default I have it enabled. As you can see, if we go to manual input, the parent for these search input and search button straight away change. If we change it one more time to script population, or sorry, to by referencing my own drop down, as you can see, the parent for them also changed. You could disable this if you want, or you could keep it enabled. By default, it's enabled. Now, next we have search. We have search input type. So we have standard, which is just, you could write whatever you want. Whatever you want, you can put numbers, you can put alphabets, whatever. But you could change it so that it only shows, for example, integer numbers. So if we say play now, if I try to put any letters, I can't, it doesn't work. If I put numbers, it does. If I try to press any letters, it doesn't work. So it's just for numbers. You could change it so that it's done by name. What does name mean? It means the first letter of every word will be capitalized. So option A. I did not capitalize, I didn't press shift, I didn't press caps lock. Now you might think, why would I want to do this? Well, if you want your search to be case sensitive search, so let's turn on case sensitive right now. And if I put it as standard, for example, and I'm going to search right now. If I put lowercase o, nothing, wait, that show up. Option A, option B. Oh, as you can see, if I put option B, option C, option A, none of them are changing because I haven't written it, I haven't formatted it correctly, and I have selected case sensitive. So what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to press Control Shift O. Now it shows it, OPTIO. If I press option, if I press C lowercase, it doesn't select it. If I put uppercase C, it will select it. So now it's case sensitive. So if you're going to make it case sensitive, you might as well choose name formatting. Because when you choose name formatting, one second, if you change name formatting, it does it for you automatically. So I'm not pressing shift or nothing. Option C. It capitalizes it for me. On the other hand, I could just turn off case sensitive search. So that's completely up to you and how you want to do it. Now, case sensitive search might be important for you if you're doing passwords, for example. That might be important for you if you're doing like passwords and stuff like that. So you might want to turn it on, especially if you want the passwords to be case sensitive. Okay, what other features do we have? So we have search input, text preferences. At the moment, you could say copy drop down text style. So whatever style we have used in our drop down, it could copy it automatically. Copy drop down colors and appearances. It says yes. Now our normal drop down right now, where is it? It's just got the standard color. But what if we should change it to red? Or well, let's find the text. Where's the text? One second. Let's find the text level. Is it to red, for example? And press play. So this is our drop down, and then we attach our search drop down manager to it. Now when we press search and type, it automatically uses the same color as the drop down menu. Okay, what's next? Copy drop down list text formatting. So if you want to copy the same formatting and as whatever. So assuming you've already created a big asset and or big tool, or you finished your game and you've created your unit interface and it has specific colors to it, you could just copy the exact same formatting that you've already used for your drop down, and hopefully the search input will have the same style, so you don't have to do too much work. What else? Search input box anchoring. This is optional, so you don't really need to anchor automatically, but at the moment it's anchoring to, as in it sticks right to it, and then you could show and hide it. in the inspector mode, and you can adjust its proximity of how close it attaches to it. So if we put it like this and we press play, it will end up there. Okay, put it back to 0. It goes back to that default position. Okay, you can untick it so it doesn't anchor to it automatically. So right now, if I move my drop down, let's say here, and press play, if I press the search button, it doesn't move on top of it. It doesn't follow it. So go back to here, and I'm going to take that back on so it anchors to it automatically. As you can see, it went right straight to it because I like that. Now, the next option is search input box anchoring dimension. So this is optional. By default, auto anchor and adjust search text input. So it auto adjusts it so it's exactly the same size. Let me show you. So if my drop down, if I increase the size of it and press play and press search button, the search button also copies the same dimensions, right? What else? If I say auto anchor with manual adjust search text input size, so it's going to auto anchor it, but you can manually adjust the search input size, and you can play around with this. So you could say I want search text input size multiplier to be smaller. You can see it on the screen going up and down. Or you could say I don't want anything to change, so you leave this at 1. Or you can increase the height, for example, if you want to. If you want. What's going on? 50, 5, 0. What's going on? Press search. It's too high. We don't want that. We'll go back to 30. And you could do fully manual anchor and adjust search text input size. So if we press this, you just click on this yourself and adjust it to however you want, and it will stay exactly like that. It will not change. But I like to make it fully automated. Search button anchoring. So you could use search button, or you don't actually need to use a search button. So if we untick this, use search button, when we press play, we no longer have this little search button on the left, but we will always have this input function available. You'll never be able to get rid of it. Option B. You'll never get rid of it because you don't really have a search button. You won't be able to bring it back. So generally speaking, you do want to use the search button. And you could say, I want to auto anchor my search button. Or if you don't want to auto anchor it, you can anchor it yourself wherever you want. And if you are using auto anchoring, you could say anchor the button on the left side, or you anchor it on the right side. So if you put on the right side, it automatically sticks to the right side. Okay, I want it back on the left side. And you can also adjust the proximity. Oh, it's 0 now. The last thing is search button dimensions. This is optional. So this is the button. We could change the. So we could say auto adjust button size, or we could say auto anchor. Auto anchor with manual adjustment, or fully manual anchor and adjustment button size. So you have a few options right here. You could change what size it is as well, or you could define your own height and width. and this is just a multiplier. So you could make it, you don't have to make it into a square if you don't want to, but I do. Or you could go to auto adjust button size, which is what the default should be. And then we have default references, manually assign canvas. So generally speaking, you drag it to the canvas you want. If you want to manually assign a canvas, you could just drag your canvas and put it in here. The reason you might want to manually assign canvas is if you have more than one canvas. So generally speaking, you don't want to do that. And then use my own search input function. So currently, this is the input function that will be used if you choose one of these options, like manual input by inspector or by script population. This will be the search input tool that it will be using. So if you don't want to use this, you could reference your own, but by default it's turned off. So you do use these, and you could say use my own button. So currently the button we are using is this right here, but you don't have to use this button. Let's turn this one off. You don't have to use this button. You can drag your own one. You can reference your own one. So if you click on this search button, you can reference it here. And sorry that I'm making you reference it twice for the rect transform. Technically, if I was less lazy, you only need to reference all of these things once, but I was a bit lazy. So you reference the button and its rect transform. You just drag the same button twice, basically. The one that's referenced by default is this one right here. I'll turn this off. Yeah. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, please join our Discord. I will leave a link to our Discord in the description of this video. Thank you and bye bye.